One of the absolute craziest things that you can say to somebody that has a stutter is just slow down. Just don't do it. Yeah, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll just, I'll stop. I'll just stop. Um, Thank you for that advice. You've changed my life now. I'll be able to perform normally and function relatively okay in society. I know you're trying to help. I know somebody that says that will is trying to help, and they don't really understand the full scope of what stuttering actually is. But sometimes it can get a bit, but I guess it comes from a good place sometimes. So I want to make a video on stuttering because if you've watched any of my videos, you may notice that I have a bit of a stutter. Not just stutter, but I also have, I tend to talk fast sometimes when I'm either nervous or I'm excited, and I also have a bit of a strong accent, I've been told too. But yeah, we're gonna discuss a little bit about this, and I have something to show you at the end that I've been working on also with relating to stuttering. So, um, if you're somebody that has a stutter, typically it is not something that you can really control. In most cases, you have to kind of learn to control it, and that control comes to different degrees too, because you have some people that have stutters that they can't even get through a whole sentence, like you're not even part of a phrase without kind of having to repeat certain words. Now, I personally, I come from a family of stutterers, so what that means is I stutter, my father stuttered, my grandfather stuttered, uncles, cousins from my father's side have varying levels. My brother has a stutter, my sister has a stutter. My brother's comes out more when he's like angry or ready to do like fighting type things, but yeah, it's still there. Yeah, for the most part, he has it under control. So control can be learned over time, but it's something that it's a process. It's a process, and with it being a process, and with there being varying degrees of what a stutter actually is, there's not like a silver bullet that can solve stuttering in and of itself. Now you can learn to live with it. You can learn to make it work for you, and so there's been like videos of like guys like Steve Harvey of me talking about how he overcame his stuttering problem. Tony Robbins did a video with this guy helping him cured in 7 minutes. So so there is a part of this too that is mental, admittedly, because I'll say in my case, there is a it it does there is a side of it that comes out when I get either excited or when I get nervous. That's when you'll hear it a bit more. But I want to also look into some jobs that people for stuttering typically would work well with. So we're gonna go into r slash stutter. It's a Reddit group for people of this persuasion. So let's see what they recommend here, because typically they're gonna recommend jobs that don't really have a lot of talking typically. But yes, let's just look at it here. So this is from Meow XX12, and was asking, I have a lot of speech issue due to things being wrong with my mouth. I want a entry level job. All right, so university professor. Okay, so I see it. So it does not be something that can really hold you back as much, because this is a university professor, and they found a way to kind of make it work for them. But it's talk for the 40 to 50 students every day and new faculty. Yeah. Um, so and here's the other side of somebody wanting to be a teacher but kind of holding off because of the stutter. So it's mental in that sense that you may have these blocks. So some people will push beyond it. Some people will uh, have it as a crux. It's not necessarily a case of them not wanting to, try this out and become a teacher, but maybe their level of stuttering is not something that can is conducive to the teaching environment. So, yeah, that's a part of it also. All right. So here's another teacher here. If you disclose to kids, you become more fluent over time. Plus, they learn to authentically respect peoples with differences. All right. So I guess teacher is on the list of jobs you can look into. You have software engineer here. Doesn't require as much communication as some other fields, but there's still a lot of meetings. My stuttering has gotten pretty severe over the years, so I just write everything I need to say. My supervisor was nice enough to allow me to communicate like this, but afraid of the future possibilities and promotions that the speech can, stop you from getting. So yeah, so a huge part of what makes you marketable and able to advance in the workplace is not just being able to perform at your job well. You also need to be able to communicate ideas effectively. And a part of one of the key things that humans use to communicate is speech. So when you have something that kind of inhibits it, not for lack of trying, but it makes delivering ideas a bit difficult, if you understand what I mean. So if you're unable to deliver ideas easily, like how you see a guy like Tony Robbins is able to communicate ideas easily, or how Steve Harvey, or if you look at how all right, and you see how guys like you know Steve Harvey, comedians are able to communicate ideas. You know, a huge part of what helps with the advancement of people going forward in their life is being able to talk fluently and share those ideas, and stuttering inhibits that. So yeah, so you're somewhere here as a block stutterer, and being able to physically unable and being physically unable to speak in interviews is horrible. So yeah, different variations of it. So this one is really bad. Right? Yeah. So this person here seems to have kind of become numb to the failing the interviews because of the stutter back in his home country. Um, there's not so much awareness here, and people often shut me off after I couldn't speak for a minute or so. Yeah, because there's a part of it too that it can make some people uncomfortable. So it's yeah. Content writing is another one seeing here. Public accounting, um, family farm. So they never were about stuttering. At least the animals won't really care that much. Maybe they'll like maybe scare the horses a little bit, but police officer. But it can become an issue at times. So like yeah, because part of as I mentioned with stuttering, it's that you're gonna be when in cases where you're like nervous or excited, it comes out a bit more. At least in my case, and I know that's the case for other people too. So you have RN on cardiac floor on one of the largest hospitals in my state. It was intimidating at first, and I realized I know it's easier said than done. All right, and see, this is a huge part of it too. You have to get to the stage where you don't really care about what others think about your speech impediment. If they have issues with it, that's on you, not them. So Diva XO, you got it. Security used to got fired. Sorry about that broken record. All right, writing games. Okay, delivery driver. General practitioner. I guess that's what GP means. All right. So this is 16, somebody 16 working at a plant store, barely has any customers, so it's easy. A mechanic with a fair amount of talking on phone, like phone calls and stuff, so it works out very well for them. Alright, so this is somebody that has worked in many fields now. So they've spanned retail, hard labor to aviation. Last job I went through was as an aircraft systems technician or aircraft mechanic for Royal Canadian Air. Alright. So there's also an element of imposter syndrome that this one went through, because it said that speech made him feel as though he didn't deserve to be there, even if after he earned like top student award in trade training course and was awarded any position of my choice. Rock bottom self-confidence. Yes, yeah, that's a part of it too. Result from my speech ensured I would never achieve the levels I was, truly capable of. Despite winning multiple awards and various personal achievements, I still felt incompetent. Alright, so I'm gonna link this story. I'm gonna put this story in the description so you can kind of go through. I don't want to fully read out his story here on the video, but yeah, you get the idea. It's something that there's many layers to it. It's kind of like, you know how Shrek would describe an onion? We are the real onion with this stuttering, I'm telling you. So you have somebody here that's a B, I think this is BL analyst, Home Depot, irrigation company. Alright. So yeah, we're in every field, I think. Yeah, so let's talk about my role now. So one of the places that you don't typically have a lot of people that stutter is in or maybe it's people that kind of manage it better, but yeah, people that work in call center environment that have stuttering like I do, and I've had to overcome the trainers reservations. I've had to overcome the customer reservations. So I work specifically in call center sales. So the customer is already gonna have hesitations, and you have to, with your stuttering and everything else that they might, you know, find as an issue or want to have as a hesitation to that you have to overcome. Having a stutter does not really help with the certainty that they want to have, making purchases. But even with that scenario or situation, I still managed to become a top seller in my department. So, yeah. So, as I said, for my stutter, you can hear how I talk now. It does at times get worse depending on certain factors, but if and it's not just me, so like sales on a whole for people that stutter, like maybe not block stuttering, but people that have like a manageable level and think you can like learn to like train it. Stuttering can sometimes help in the sales process because it helps to sometimes disarm the person that you're pitching to. So you don't, or what I'm pretty much saying is you don't sound like a salesman on the phone, and that can help sometimes. It can help. So to that effect, because selling goes beyond just phone sales that I do now. There is also in any position, just like how this person said they have to go through like multiple interviews. Where is it? Yeah, the person we saw that said they have to do multiple interviews and it doesn't really phase them anymore because they've gotten numb to it. There's a part of this that sales on a whole, from what I've seen, people that stutter tend to do well in it just because we are already aware of our faults and we kind of if we know how to use it effectively, it can become an asset, if that makes it. So it's not a case of necessarily wanting to get rid of it or completely neutralize it. It's a case of knowing how to accept that part of yourself and becoming better at managing it over time, if that makes sense. So to that effect, I mentioned that I have something about to show you. I've been working on a new book. It's stutter selling, mastering call center sales with a stutter. So it's in story form. It's my story essentially, but I use the character Sam as I guess a character to tell the story through. That makes it a little less embarrassing, I guess. So it will probably be up on Amazon soon. If it does get approved, I will, for pre-order, I'll put it up and put the link in the description or the comments down below. So yeah, so what this is, it pretty much it's a part of a series of books I'm considering doing now, but this one would be the second installment in that series. So this one, it helps on the side of, it helps on the side of um, building rapport, um, overcoming hesitations with a stutter. Well, it's not just a stutter, so it's a stutter plus talking fast plus being an introvert. All those things come into play when you have to worry about the sales environment, which in a call center is not the most mentally, how do I put this, it's a very hard environment to go into. But if you're tough enough, especially somebody that has gone through being made fun of for the stuttering and everything, just like a lot of these people have here, you kind of get numb to that, and you can actually use that to make your whatever job you're going to be doing. This book would actually help you if you have a stutter, because if you can make it, if you can understand how to do sales, because you'll be selling yourself under every condition that you go into. So whether that be that you're going to be trying to get into a relationship, whether that be you're going to be doing a presentation, whether that be you're going to be maybe going into a call center environment, just like I was for the first time a couple months back. You can use something like this, and hopefully it helps you. Yeah. So if you do stutter, if you do just watching this video to learn more about stutterers, well, something that I'd say, just accept that you have it. It's one of those things that you sometimes can learn to train, and if you give yourself enough time, hopefully it becomes an asset to you. Alright, that's the video. And yeah, check out the book when it does become available. It's in review right now. So yeah, that's the video. Alright, done yapping and stuttering all over the place.